In 120 hours, $450 million disappeared, and 670 suspects were already wearing handcuffs before most people finished their work week. This isn't a headline, it's a timeline. And this is how a multi-state drug network gets erased in 5 days. Without leaks, without sirens, and without warning. We're unpacking a rapid-fire DEA operation that chained raids across multiple states with almost no leaks. Watch how agents turned one door kick into a cascade, seizing cash and narcotics faster than warnings could spread. If you want to know how you move that far, that fast, without noise, you're in the right place. They opened with a courier because he touched everything but sat too low to trigger alarms. Mid-level drivers see the stash, the handoff spots, the faces on both sides. Yet they lack the insulation that bosses build around themselves. He was carrying 2 phones, a drop schedule on a crumpled index card, and a habit of stopping at the same gas station before every run. That predictability made him the clean hinge for the first swing. He wasn't the prize, he was the switchboard. The opening hours weren't chaotic. They ran on a clock that shaved seconds. Controlled buys were booked back-to-back to confirm who was actively moving weight that week, not last month. Warrants ran in parallel, residential, storage units, and 2 business fronts, so no one docket tipped the cadence. Teams had time-on-target windows laid by proximity and link strength. Hit the courier at 7:10, the stash condo at 8:35, the runner's girlfriend's garage at 9:55. Each entry fed the next one's prep, so you never had idle agents or dead air. But every cuff clicked under a timer. One text out of a patrol car, one tail that drifts too wide on a left turn, and the network forks into flight mode. They treated the clock like the main threat. The longer someone sat in a backseat with a phone still pinging, the hotter the tree got. So they cut the dwell. You grab, you clear. You pass the device to the triage kit, and you move. No victory laps, no slow transports to a central office. The leapfrogging method kept it live. At each door, a small tech cell cloned phones before booking, pulling recent calls and location crumbs while the suspect still asked for water. Stash notebooks gave up nicknames with street intersections scribbled next to them. Those turned into geo-fenced watch lists within minutes. Vehicles got tags for rolling surveillance, letting an unmarked pair shadow a Toyota from one side of town to a storage row without lighting up the radio. Each hit was a springboard, not a finish line. They ran it on a grid. Squads owned spokes, each district ringed with its own stash, banker, and runner. Nobody touched the hub until the rings went dark. That way, if someone in the center sniffed heat, there were no outer eyes left to pick up orders or move cash. Think of it as blacking out perimeters before stepping into the middle. Outer circles lost drivers, garages, and cash pickups. And then the inner office door took the knock. To keep the machine from bumping into itself, they used deconfliction tools, the kind that flag overlapping warrants and plan service times. Those systems cut down on blue and prevent 2 squads from chasing the same car or burning a cover location. When an address gets slated by one team, the system pushes a heads up to others, so no friendly surveillance sits across the street when the stack rolls. Past cases gave them the lesson. Early arrests have blown entire networks when word shot across a family chat or a crew radio. Staggered entries fixed it. You don't lift a visible face alone. You close around it with synchronized hits that starve the calls and block the exits. A 90-minute cycle did the cutting. Courier, then stash, then the cash handler. Comms pathways fell in sequence, leaving nothing for a warning to ride. By the time the center felt the draft, it was already boxed. Movement was frozen by order, not luck. The center never got the ping. Now cutting movement is one thing. Silencing the network is another. Here's how they talked without being heard. So if hundreds of badges and cars moved at once, why didn't the street hear them coming? Because the plan starved the rumor mill before it could even warm up. Briefings stayed razor thin. Need-to-know lists that cut out anyone who didn't touch a door in the next 6 hours. Affidavits stayed sealed until service, then opened in staggered packets so nobody saw the full map. And they split chatter into cutout channels, so local partners only got green lights when wheels were already turning, not when ideas were still on a whiteboard. Here's where it gets tight. Multi-agency work loves to leak. Too many radios, too many calendars, too many inboxes with urgent tags. One calendar invite forwarded to the wrong person, and the whole 120 hours collapses. So they buried the timelines inside small bubbles. Case leads pushed updates in short bursts at fixed check-in points, not with rolling pings that stack noise. Supervisors kept the master clock off shared systems. You couldn't leak what you didn't see, and most people saw a slice, not the pie. The blackout ran on hardware and habits. Radios lived on encrypted talk groups spun up for this window, not the day-to-day channels that Patrol uses. Updates came in clipped phrases keyed to a pre-programmed code sheet, so nobody blurted out a target's real name or an address in plain language while adrenaline was high. Field teams sent status only on go marks. Staged, knocked, cleared, device up, rolling. No color, no war stories, no live play-by-play for someone to overhear at a desk. Behind the door, device triage units made the hits talk without a word. While a subject was still getting cuffed and logged, a two-person cell moved the phones to a bench kit, cloned them, and pulled out a live contact tree. Recent calls, favorite locations, cached maps, even the rideshare history from last weekend's meet, sorted and flagged before transport. That gave the next stack a fresh point of aim without waiting for a lab or a court calendar to breathe. They didn't wait for calls to spread. They watched the first ripples on purpose, with lawful pen registers and cell site simulators on standby. Analysts tracked the call storms that always kick off in the first hour after a takedown. The moment a number lit up 3 times in 5 minutes, they ghosted it, either by following it quietly to a meeting or by letting a decoy message burn the line's trust. Decoys kept eyes in the wrong zip code. A team served a loud, clean warrant on a small player across town at the same time a main stack rolled quiet. Marked cars, visible vests, lots of neighbors filming. That noise pulled watchers and texts away from the real move. By the time someone realized the small case didn't ripple, the main case had already moved 2 doors deeper. They even baited the runners. Courier traps used fake delivery pings on known drop routes. A neutral text alert told a driver a package had landed early at a routine box. Runners showed, thinking they were helping, and walked into a scene already under control. Because the burner cycles were mapped in advance, the window hit right before the usual SIM swap, catching the hands, the car, and the next address in one pass. So the warning never found a highway. Chatter had nowhere to go. Comms stayed in silos. Decoys soaked attention, and the phones that mattered sat on evidence trays. With movement frozen and voices muted, the seizures started stacking. That's where the $450 million in the tonnage start drawing lines, and those lines show exactly who just lost the board.